Hi everyone, this is SusanDintino and I want to welcome you all to my full moon and Mercury Retrograde talk. We are really dealing with quite a bit of energy today, which is Saturday, December the 2nd, 2017. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes and see if we get some people in here to join us. I want to remind everybody that what I will be talking about today is more coming from an intuitive aspect versus really being any type of expert on astrology. And I want to just make sure everybody knows that, because I will give you all the information that I am familiar with. But again, I am no astrological expert by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm really happy to be back. I was doing full moon and new moon Facebook Lives, and then life kind of had other ideas and I got super busy. But I'm very glad to be back, and I'm really planning on being here. And what I'm contemplating is doing this the Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time, right before any type of a big celestial event, like the full moon, an eclipse, the solstice, new moon. So I think that's going to work out best rather than trying to do it right on the specific day, which is what I was trying to do. So hopefully this will get many of you able to tune in. This will be kept up on Facebook, and also I will post it on my YouTube channel, which is my name, SusanDintino. So hello Monica, I'm so glad you're joining me, but I'm going to get started now, and as we go I'm sure that we're going to be having more people join us. I know we're all starting to get ready for the holidays, so because of that people are very busy. But as I said, the information that I'm going to be sharing with you today is definitely something that if you're listening live, great, and if not, then you can certainly listen to the rebroadcast, because there's going to be a ton of tips here. So first of all, let's talk about Mercury going retrograde, and I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk about that because I know there's people out there that really don't understand what it means. And again, when we talk about this Mercury going retrograde, it's not as if Mercury is actually moving backwards. The word retrograde means to be moving in a backward motion. What it means when we talk about Mercury going retrograde is that if you were looking at it from the Earth, it appears to be doing that. At certain times of the year, this is the appearance. And because of that, and when we're discussing this, we're talking about energy. Because of that, it influences the way the Mercury energy works for us. And this is extremely important this time around because it is starting at the same time as this full moon, which is actually full tomorrow, okay, December 3rd, but obviously we're feeling the effects of it now. So we've got this Mercury retrograde coming in the same day as the full moon. The full moon's in Gemini. So let's get back to talking about Mercury. So again, thinking that it's moving backwards, what does Mercury control? It controls communications. It controls our electrical devices. There's so many things that Mercury really is responsible for on an energetic level here on our planet Earth. So when it's moving backwards, we might have some problems with our communications, with our relationships, with our electrical devices. Because of that, it is not recommended that you start anything new when Mercury's in retrograde. It goes out of retrograde on December 22nd, which is really interesting because, as I said, it's coming in now with this full moon energy, and it's going to be leaving right around the winter solstice. So now let's look at this a little bit deeper. What is Mercury retrograde calling on us to do? And I know many times people look at this as a negative thing, but it can really be, especially coming up now, something very positive. And what I mean by that is that with Mercury being retrograde, it's calling on us to be introspective, to go inwards. Mars is the ruling god, so to speak, of Mercury. And Mars is the Roman god in Roman mythology, and he was the messenger of the gods. So if we look at it from that standpoint, and we know now Mercury is going retrograde, if we look at it from our own personal communication, what could that mean? Well, what it could mean is that it's a good time to go inward. It's a good time, especially coming up now in December, and looking at 2017. What did it hold for you? What were the things that were positive? What were the lessons? Are there beliefs that you're looking to release now that didn't serve you in 2017? What is it that you would like to make happen in 2018? That's what this Mercury is inviting us to do, to be introspective and to give Mars, the messenger of the gods, an opportunity to get some of those divine messages to us. Okay, so how is that accomplished? Well, it's accomplished by meditation, quieting the mind, and allowing these messages to come in. So take time in this busy time of year to do some meditating. Get into even if it's just like a 5-minute a day practice, get into a meditation practice that'll enable you to quiet the mind and maybe allow some of these messages to get through. Another real powerful technique you can use right now is journaling, okay? You know, those of you that listen to my radio show, which is the night shift every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on W4CY Radio, I talk about this all the time. I talk about journaling. I talk about writing because I think it's such an important tool that we can all do that taps into our subconscious, that gives those divine messages an opportunity to get through. Now, what do I mean by divine messages? I mean messages that are coming from a place other than our logical mind, also referred to as the ego. Our mind can be very fear-driven. Our mind is set up to protect us. So when we want to go beyond our mind and go inward, it's important that we settle it down, tell our mind, you know what, we're going to leave the to-do lists. We're going to leave all the nagging concerns about the holiday season. We're going to leave all of those things on the back burner. And we're just going to allow ourselves to be quiet so that if these messages are coming through, we're able to hear them and we're able to understand them. Now, many times people will say to me, well, Susan, how do I know that this is divine message? The way I can always tell when I'm in meditation is that I'll be in that quiet space and I'll hear something come to me that I'm not in any way thinking about. Maybe to call somebody, or maybe to write a letter, send a card, reach out in a text. Something will just pop in. For me, it's always very positive. It's gentle guidance to do something coming from a loving place. So this is the way I always look at divine guidance. It's something that comes in a loving way. It's not fear-driven. Even if it's telling me that maybe it's time for me to, maybe clean up my diet a bit or get out and go for a walk. It's presented in a gentle, loving way. I think that sometimes when we get these fearful messages, it's more mind-based than divine-based. So with Mars being in retrograde, not a good time to start something new. It's more of a time to think about what it is that you would like to start anew. What projects would you like to bring in fruition in 2018? What is it that you've been procrastinating on doing? Is it that book? Is it opening that new store? What is it that you could do? I love the fact that 2018 has got that beautiful 8 in it, which is all about abundance, all about infinity, all about anything being possible. And I was very guided to wear citrine today just because it reminds me about being abundant. And orange too, again, the color of the sacral chakra, which we're going to be talking about a little bit as well. So that's my crash course on Mercury retrograde. Use this time to just allow yourself to go inward. Make some time to do that. Okay, so now let's talk about this full moon. It will be full tomorrow. So we're a little bit ahead, but I like to do it like this because then it gives you an opportunity to get ready for it. Full moons always are about completion. Maybe you set an intention in the new moon energy and wonder now, did it come true? Is it something that you can really say, okay, this was accomplished? What message is this full moon bringing to you? And I'm sure many of you are already feeling the energy, because not only is this a full moon with a Mercury retrograde, it's also a supermoon. What does that mean? It means it's incredibly close to the planet. So when you see the full moon, and hopefully you can see it this evening that your weather allows, it's going to seem larger and brighter than normal because it's close to the planet. Thus, it's called a supermoon. Now, that's what we can see visibly. What does it mean to us energetically? Well, now we've got that moon energy closer to us, so all of the things that the full moon does normally is going to be enhanced. So if you have problems sleeping at night in full moon energy, this is certainly something that is going to be heightened, possibly with what's going on now, because it's in Gemini. And Gemini, the twins, the astrological twins, it's about really being conflicted, being pulled apart, seeing two sides of things. And with this happening, now remember the Mercury retrograde, where we're not going to do anything new. You might not really know what's the truth. You might find yourself being irritated, frustrated. Maybe you heard that so-and-so said this about you and you're all ready to confront them. Well, what I would suggest is you take a step back, because a lot of these feelings that are coming in could have a great deal to do with this heightened moon energy. You're feeling confused and you're feeling conflicted. Where is reality in all of this? And it might take until December 22nd, when Mercury is out of retrograde, when we've got that new moon, which is coming December the 18th. When we have the solstice, which is coming December 21st, see all those energies coming together will give you the clarity that you need. So right now, clarity might not be your best friend. And what's positive about this, you might say, especially going through this busy time of year, what's positive is that you know it. You know that your thoughts are conflicted. You know that your thoughts are being pulled apart. So take the time to realize that, to center yourself, getting outdoors, and regardless of your weather, going for a mindful walk. And really, I love this form of meditation if you're just not in the mood to sit still, where you just walk. And it's not about exercise. Of course, walking is always exercise, but it's more about staying in the moment. So when I do it, I walk slowly, I stroll. That might be a better way to put it. I stroll. And what I do is I notice everything around me. Yesterday here on the island, we had luminaries. And my sister was supposed to have joined me, but she wasn't able to because she had to, her husband's father had passed, and the memorial service was actually this morning. So she wasn't able to do it. So basically what happened was I was alone, and I had my little Vespa, and I'm driving down Main Street, bumper to bumper traffic. I would have been better off to have been riding my bike. But even though I was on my Vespa, my little motor scooter, what I was focusing on was staying in the moment, noticing the lights, noticing the people. And when you get into that, now again, you'd be strolling, but I'm giving, because when we talk about luminaries, there's all those little bags along the road, the bike path that have got the candles in. When we talk about luminaries, it's about strolling through the light. And I think so much of what we're seeing right now in politics, what we're seeing, there's so much light being shed on things that were kept in the dark in all aspects of our lives. We're seeing that on a grand national, on a world stage, and we're also finding that in our own lives, that the light is being shed on the dark. So this is where you want to look at it. So going through this luminaries, because here it's pitch black when there's no light. We're very protective of sea turtles, as a matter of fact, so there's no uplighting. So when there's lights, like the full moon, unless nature doesn't cooperate, will be incredible here, because again, it's protected, very few lights, because they don't want the sea turtles to get confused when they lay their eggs, which creates just an incredible atmosphere for stargazing and things like that. So again, the light is juxtaposed to the dark. And that's what we've got with this full moon energy, and also Mercury being in retrograde. Where in your life can you shed some light? Where can you help another person by shedding light? And I think when we really have this time of year, when we get so caught up in gift giving and what we can do to make other people happy, remember that you yourself are the best gift that you can give anybody. And it's one of the reasons why I've started doing my nurturing necessities. I haven't done those for a few years, and I'm posting them on my Facebook page. And every day it's just a short little tip of ways that you can take care of you. Because what happens during this time of year is we definitely get tied into what everybody else is doing, and we tend to forget what we need. We tend to forget to refill that well. So that's not at all being selfish or self-centered. To know that you need to replace that energy that you're giving out. So, in conclusion for this little part, keep in mind, not a time to make big decisions, start new projects with Mercury being retrograde. With this moon energy, it's going to be difficult to know what's real and what's not. It's a time for introspection, meditation, life review over the past year, or even longer if you feel that that would be beneficial, and deciding what it is you want to bring into 2018. So, all of those things. So I always like to share a crystal with you. And besides citrine, which is what I'm using on my body today with my ring and everything, I wanted to share this with you. This is tangerine quartz. And tangerine quartz is a wonderful, see, we've got this orange color. This is such a huge part of today's talk, and it was so much the way I was guided. So we've got this tangerine quartz, which helps to bring you clarity for those of you that are on life purpose paths, or maybe trying to decide exactly what your life purpose is. A great stone to use. So again, if this is something you're in the market for, check this out, tangerine quartz. It's what I'm recommending for this energy. And remember, when I'm making these recommendations, these are all channeled. In other words, I start thinking about this a couple days before. Okay, what would be a good crystal to recommend? What would be a good flower, an essence? So I like to tie all of that into these talks. So here we've got tangerine quartz. The flower that I'm going to recommend is very popular, and it's funny because it popped into my head, and then I went to my old trusty flower therapy book by Robert Reeves and looked up poinsettias. I love those flowers. And what's so cool about where I am here, you can actually grow them outside. And what I read was that they're very significant for really focusing on life purpose. So buy yourself a poinsettia and start focusing on what it is that you would like to do. And the most important thing to remember right now and always is that this doesn't have to cause you stress. What is my life purpose? That's one of the biggest questions I get when I'm doing my reading. And again, I'll take this moment to introduce myself just in case you're tuning in. My name is SusanDintino. I do have an active website, which is SusanDintino. SusanDintino.com, and feel free to go over there and visit it. It's got, I'm a published Hay House author, Songs of My Life, Slightly Out of Tune. Great funny book. It would be a great gift for this time of year. I have a meditation CD out and also a children's book, A Year of Me. All great gifts, and they're all available on my website. So you can visit, gift certificates. Also, if you're looking for a reading, some way to get into the new year, know that I'm available. And again, all that information is on my website. So I'm very happy again, like I said, to be back here doing that. And in case you're wondering, because I'm noticing that I have my beautiful quartz crystal ball back there, or glass, I guess, and that is a cinnamon quartz. In case any of you are wondering what that point is, I purchased that in Sedona. It's one of my favorite crystals, so just in case you're looking at that. So we've got the tangerine quartz, and we also have a poinsettia. The fragrance or the essential oil that I am going to recommend is eucalyptus. Okay, we all know about eucalyptus, evergreen, any of those essences this time of year. Clear, we know we can use eucalyptus if we have any kind of congestion. It helps with that, but it will also assist you in clearing your energy. So keep that in mind. And again, like crystals, with essences, I always recommend people take the essence, wave it under your nose, and see if it appeals to you. There's many different types. Like, I know they have balsam. I know there's different types of essences. So if maybe eucalyptus doesn't appeal to you, try one of the other evergreen scents and maybe get a scented candle. Anything that's going to really help clarify the energy in you and also clarify the energy in your home. Any way that you can do that. And we always have an angel that I like to work with, an Archangel Gabriel, and this is from the Archangel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Archangel Gabriel, I mean, she's reminding us to nurture. Okay, so again, a little plug maybe for my nurturing necessities that I'll be posting every day on my Facebook page. Archangel Gabriel is the angel which is credited with coming in to tell Mother Mary that she was expecting Jesus. She's a great angel, first of all, if you're going through any type of fertility problems. She's a wonderful angel to call. She will help while you're in labor. She is just somebody that has a bunch of different values. She also helps with communication. I work with her all the time when I'm writing. So I love this energy. Now, when I refer to Archangel Gabriel, I want to mention that I always look at Archangel Gabriel as feminine energy. But as with all energies, angels are just energy. We kind of perceive them in one way or the other. So sometimes, especially with Archangel Gabriel, I have seen pictures of this angel depicted as masculine. So whatever relates to you, but we're going to call on Archangel Gabriel, again, very much tied into a wonderful angel this time of year. And remember, when you're going crazy, trying to find a parking space as you're moving through all of the different malls or wherever, I think so many people shop online, but still you got a grocery shop. Remember to call your angels and ask them to help you find the perfect parking space, because they will cooperate, believe me. So that's in conclusion, again, to this aspect. The essence that I'm recommending is eucalyptus, the crystal tangerine quartz, and the flower poinsettia, and the Archangel Gabriel. Now, one little addition I'm going to add today is talking a little bit about the solar plexus chakra. The chakras are our energetic little swirls of energy that exist inside our physical body as well as above and below our physical body. And the sacral chakra is located right around where our sexual organs would be, okay, in that area. It's orange in color. And again, wow, I've been so, really guided to the whole orange idea. Keep in mind that this is the chakra that helps us with creativity. It really assists us in giving birth to ourselves. So if you feel like you have been stalled and all of a sudden maybe orange is appealing to you, just know that this chakra is asking you to pay attention. And really, we're going to be talking about this more in the weeks to come. And when I get into 2018, I'm going to be offering some courses on the chakras, because I really think it's very important to keep our energetic body in a good place so that our physical body can stay nice and healthy. And it's a fascinating topic. And again, I'm giving you a real crash course in it. So if this piques your interest, there's many books out there on it, and take a look at Google. I'm sure you can find out. But it's, again, chakras comes from the Sanskrit word meaning wheel. And it's a spinning disc. There's actually Kirlian photography that can take pictures of these. So more and more, this whole idea of energetic medicine is going hand in hand with traditional medicine, because we want to keep like our aura, our energetic body nice and sparkly clean. So I am going to take a look at who's joined us and do some mini readings. So let's see. Oh, Angela, thank you. Hey, Connie. Let's see, Julie. Julie's recommending cedar. Terry, hi, so good to see you. Stephanie and Monica. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I am going to be doing some mini readings. So if you would like a reading, please post a question, or if you just want a general reading. The cards that I'm going to be using are the Oceanic Tarot deck. When I'm going to be doing these little mini readings, keep in mind that I'm not going to be reading them as a tarot deck. Tarot is a very specific way of reading, and it's like being an astrologer. It takes a ton of practice. So it's not the way I do readings. I'm using this deck more as an oracle deck. Here's the back of the cards. I really like these cards because they're tied into the water, tied into the ocean. And let me just make sure I give credit. The author of these cards is Jane, and that's Jayne, Wallace. So just keep that in mind. I just love this whole idea. And here we've got our friends, the dolphins. Just remember, dolphins reminding you to play, how important it is that you remember to play this time of year and enjoy it. So I'm going to scroll through and just see if anybody's got some questions or would like a reading. I use first name only because we want to make sure that we keep these nice and private and just for you. So let's take a look and see. Okay, let's see. Let's see. All right, so let's jump to Connie. Connie just wants a general reading. Now, just keep in mind, I'm doing my best to scroll through, so I'm going to get to as many people as I can, and I want to thank you all for joining me. This is a 78 card deck, so I have this like broken up in sections. So I'm just, again, intuitively going to go to the section that I've drawn to in the cards. So we have the Ace of Swords for you, Connie. And the word on the card is victory. And wow, again, in this deck, the swords have a definitive meaning, but I am not going to that. It's one of the suits that Miss Wallace uses in this deck. What I'm seeing here is victory, and I think this is a strong hit for you, Connie, that 2018 is going to be a really strong year for you. And I feel like this shark is representing that it's time for you to step into your power. I also think this yellow color is telling you that it's time for you to step into your power. So while we have this energy right now where it's calling on us to be introspective, it's calling on us to look inward, are there ways that maybe it's time for you to step into your power a little bit? Are there things in your life where you really want people to know what it is that you're thinking and how you feel? So just know, again, that this shark is a positive sign of power. It's really saying, okay, I am going to be victorious. I feel 2018 is going to be a good year for you, Connie. And just keep in mind, it's time for you to stay in your power. And thank you so much for joining me today. Okay, Nikki, let's see. Nikki is looking for a general reading as well. So when we talk about general readings, for those of you that might be a bit new to all of this, just know that what that means is that you're just looking for a reading. Wow, when we had a couple cards, they actually drop out of the deck, so I am going to grab them. Excuse me while I pop out of your screen. Okay, I'm going to grab them. If this was just one card, we'd say it's a jumper, but with it being so many, we're not going to say that it's a jumper. When that happens, if you do your own readings, a jumper is always a card that is being begged to be called, but I think that was me just having some sticky fingers. So, Nikki, Queen of Cups, sensitivity. So I think what we're going to find, and I find this very often when I'm doing my show, that there's a repeated theme here. And I think what the theme's going to be today, because I'm just feeling it, and I think it's so much why I was using the citrine, is that it's an abundant time. So what this mermaid has come in to tell you, Nikki, is that you're going to be having some abundance coming into your life. The word on the card is sensitivity. And what I think this is saying is your sensitive nature, your empathic nature, is something that needs to be protected. So as you're using your manifesting tools to create the abundance that you'd like to bring into your life, make sure that you remember the importance of boundaries. And what I mean by boundaries is, Nikki, you're the type of person that likes people to be happy around you all the time, which is a wonderful, kind way to be. But one of the issues is sometimes you sacrifice your own happiness for somebody else's. And that's not always the best thing for you to do. So just keep that in mind. We always want to be kind and compassionate, and there's no reason why we can't be. But when we find ourselves being fatigued and we don't understand why we're fatigued and what it is that's going on, just keep in mind that it could just be that energy drain. It could just be that we're just somebody that's supplying like gas for an empty gas tank for one of our loved ones, our friends, co-workers, and because we're sensitive, it's been very draining. So you just want to keep a little boundary around yourself, you know, keep that aura in, and make sure that you stay protected. So Nikki, keep that in mind. You're very sensitive, but again, I feel like this is saying that you are going to be having some nice positive energy coming your way and some abundance coming up. So thank you for tuning in. Okay, let's see. I'm going to scroll through. Let me get right up here. Okay, all right, we're gonna go. Hello, Nicole. Thank you for joining. Hey, Bridget. Thank you so much for popping in. Oh, Bridget, thank you. Okay, so Nicole, let's see. You want to know what messages the angels have for you. And I've got, like I said, these cards divided in 3 piles, and I'm going back and forth because I'm kind of drawn to one. Again, this is the Oceanic Tarot deck by Jane Wallace that I'm using today. And what we're going to say is we definitely, you know what, Nicole, actually, I'm going to pull from the Archangel deck. Since you want to know specifically, this is the Archangel Oracle, and as I just so happen to have it right here, I'm going to pull from this deck for you because you kind of wanted to know what your angels had for you in the upcoming year. So let's see what comes up for you. And this is by Doreen Virtue, Archangel Tarot cards. Outdoors, Archangel Jophiel. Okay, so what I think this means, Nicole, and I feel like we've got a lot of empaths tuning in today. Empaths, meaning that you take on and you really absorb the energy and the feelings of the people around you. That's what I mean by empathic. I think that's a pretty good definition. For you, Nicole, getting outdoors is a very positive way for you to recharge your energy. So just keep that in mind, that if you want somebody to, you know, maybe join you, I feel like there's something going on, that a walk with somebody to clear some type of a disagreement. I feel that there's some type of a relationship that might need some healing. And I feel like Archangel Jophiel, who is so much the angel of beauty, her name actually means beauty of God. She is the angel that's coming in saying, you know what, we can work this out. Let's offer a rose. And that's one of my favorite techniques to use in energetic protection. And that's to surround my aura, bring it in 3 feet around in that beautiful egg shape, and visualize a rose, any color, any shape, any size, opened or closed, and put that rose outside my auric field. And again, this is a visualization. What I believe is happening when you do that is you're offering any negativity a rose, which represents love, which represents peace. Whatever color, I often find that the colors that will come in will often speak to a chakra that I'm working on or need to work on. A red rose, root chakra, feeling safe, feeling secure. So I feel like there's somebody that you need to, you know, kind of clear the air with, and I feel like being outdoors. I'm also seeing that this is a very positive energy for you, Nicole. So keep that in mind. It's Archangel Jophiel. She's asking to work with you, our Feng Shui angel. So she reminds us to declutter and keep our houses sparkling as well. So that's the angel we pulled for you, Nicole. And for those of you that are posting, if there's a card, hello, Sharon. Hey, Jenny, nice to see you. Karen, let's see. Oh, good, Sharon. I'm glad that resonated with you. Hey, Kristen, it's nice to see you. Nikki, Julie, Monica. Stephanie is saying she has a tangerine quartz and she grows her poinsettias year round. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce that. I have to say I normally pronounce it poinsettias, but I didn't want to be wrong, so I just wanted to make sure. That's what I'm really hoping. I'm going to be leaving here for the holidays and then coming back, and I'm hoping there's going to be some around because it's been my goal to try and grow those outdoors poinsettias. I would just love to see them do that. So let's see, okay. Alrighty. Okay, so Monica. Okay, Monica's looking for a general reading. And you know, now that I've got both decks out, if there's a deck you would prefer, let me know, because I can certainly go to the angel decks if you like. But Monica, I'm feeling guided to use my Oceanic Tarot with you. So let's see what card comes up for you, Monica. Shuffling away here. Actually, I'm going to grab a little drink of water. Six of Wands, success. Monica, I think what this is speaking to you, and I do know you personally from Facebook, but I think this is a strong hit for you again for 2018, that this is going to be a successful year for you. What I'm seeing right now is a call for you to rest a little bit. I feel like you could use some R&R, so I'd love to see you do maybe a day, spa day of some type, really getting in some self-care, some self-nurturing, very important for you right now. Energetically, you could really use the recharge, and that's the word I'm hearing. So a recharging, but 2018, I see, especially in the beginning of the year, is going to offer you many opportunities to really do more and more. And you're going to have to use this time in December to kind of get a priority list together. Now remember, again, in the beginning of the talk of saying that it's not a great time to start anything new. So just know that what you're doing now is kind of getting ready to plant some seeds that you're going to really germinate in 2018. So I'm seeing some writing for you, but more like a list kind of thing, of a priority list. But this is definitely, we've got the sixes and the threes on each side. So you're being divinely helped. There's, you know, your divine guidance is coming in. Your divine helpers are coming in. I'm really seeing a strong presence with the spirit guide coming in for you. And I feel like it's a Native American energy. So you've got somebody strong with that type of energy coming in for you, Monica. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for sharing my posts. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you. And wow, when we talk about all of this, it's interesting because I was reading a little, I read every morning Science of Mind magazine, which is based on Ernest Holmes' philosophy, and it's very much based on law of attraction and things like that. And the other day I was reading about how it would be so great to look at December as a month of gratitude. We tend to tie gratitude so much into what we do with November, Thanksgiving. But how about looking at the gifts that we already have in our life? I know there's a wonderful quote out there that something says that one of the greatest gifts you can get is to realize you have everything that you need. And that realization is one of the best presents to give yourself. So keep that in mind while you're going through. And I really hope that you do take some time to read these little suggestions that I'm doing with the Nurturing Necessities. Because as much as I know we all stay spiritual and want to do X, Y, and Z, it's so important that we remember that we need to take care of yourself. Okay, Julie. Okay, I would love to know about starting a new job. So let's see what the cards say about that. And again, if this is something that's been in the works, like say that you're in the interview process, I want to talk about that when we talk about Mercury retrograde. If you're in the interview process, then that really does not count as starting something new. So I don't want people to get fearful that have tried, you know, that have gotten into, you know, like they're on the whole employment cycle where say they're just about ready to do the last interview and they're, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be doing anything new and now. No, that's what we're talking about. Is now wouldn't be the time to start looking for a new job. Now it's better to think about what your perfect new job would look like versus going out and looking for a new job. So just keep that in mind. I don't, you know, if anybody's in the process, I never want these little insights that we're sharing to become at all fear-based. Because even with Mercury retrograde, remember the power of attraction, the power of intention. Use it as a positive. Don't look at it as a negative or feel like so many people, you know, Mercury retrograde, the sky is falling kind of thing. That's not at all what we're talking about. Remember, one way or the other, it's your mind, your intention that sets everything into action. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's see if this comes up for you about your new job, Julie. Activity, Knight of Wands. And it's so interesting because I've been doing quite a few readings for myself with this deck, and I have pulled this up so many times. And I'm going to interpret this card for the same way I've been reading it. What I really believe, first of all, we see these seahorses, and to me, seahorses represent magic. And I think what they're telling you, Julie, is that you have the Midas touch right now. However, this word activity coming in is signifying that you really need to make sure that you're not procrastinating, that you're keeping things in the forefront of what it is that you want to do. Do you have your resume together? And as I said, it wouldn't be the time right now to start, and I really feel it's got more to do with us doing a review versus this whole Mercury retrograde. And I'm seeing this around you, Julie. Make sure that whatever this job is that you're doing, that you're really drawn to it for the right reasons. You, Julie, are very clairsentient, which means you get strong feelings about things. That's your strong psychic ability. Use that intuitive ability to assist you. Whenever you're interviewing, whenever you're going someplace, it's very important that you get into the energy and how you feel in the energy. It's hugely important that you do that. So this activity for you, I think, is saying use your intuition to really allow yourself to start making some decisions based on more than logic, more than what your mind is telling you. I also feel there's people around you that influence you that might in some ways disagree with you. Just know that you are your own best judge for what it is that you would like to do. So calling on activity, and this is the Knight of Wands. So again, stepping in your power, creating magic, and see this orange color here? So much about creativity. That card. And you see how, again, because many people will say, well, I don't know what decks to get. You see how much information I pull out of this card, and I'm not looking at all at this whole idea of what it's doing as far as exact meaning of it in a tarot deck. So keep that in mind if you're doing readings for yourself. So Julie, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully that makes sense to you. So let's see what else we have. Okay, Joy. Joy is saying that she would like and appreciate any message. Okay, Joy. So again, let's see what we've got here for you. And again, just a reminder, if you do get a reading during this and maybe you're someplace that you can't take notes or whatever, this will be posted on Facebook, and then I will put it up on my YouTube station. If you got some information too that you'd like to share with your friends, just remember that I'd love if you'd share my video. Go over to my fan page. If you haven't liked me, it's SusanDintino, public figure on Facebook. And, like the video, share the video. I always like to get as many people as can. And here's what we have for you, Joy. 7 of Wands, endurance. And Joy, what this is telling me is that I think 2017 was a bit of a roller coaster ride for you, is what I'm getting. Ups and downs. And 7, again, is one of those power numbers. It's one of those numbers that is not divisible by anything but itself. So when we pull a number like 7, there's a strong indicator there of this being really something where you're being divinely helped. You're being divinely guided. So this endurance is a testament to the strength that you've had. And you're a stronger person than you know, and a stronger person than you give yourself credit for. I'd like to remind you the importance of keeping your self-talk positive, because I think there's times when you look in the mirror, you don't see that beautiful you. You don't see how strong you are. So I'm seeing also around your solar plexus chakra, that's located in the stomach area, okay? Brilliant yellow, your own yellow sun. I think there's a bit of a power power struggle going on with you. I'd love to see you do some work with that chakra. So keep that in mind. This is a time for you to step into your power, a time for you to be comfortable in your power. So this endurance that you have gone through over these challenges, you have overcome great obstacles is what I'm getting. Give yourself some credit for it. Give yourself a hug. Make sure you are replenishing your energy and taking care of you. So strong endurance, 2018 again. I'm feeling such a positive energy around this. Just know that this is a good year coming up for you. Leave the past where it belongs. Getting journaling around you, very positive, and doing some releasing really would be helpful. Thanks so much, Joy, for tuning in. And just a reminder, when I'm doing these one-card mini readings, they are exactly that. They're mini readings. What happens is that I pull the card, see the name, and I start kind of, giving you the information that I'm getting. So just keep that in mind. If you want a more detailed reading, I have all different price points, all different types of readings. Phone readings, video readings, email readings. Again, go to my website and you'll see what's available, especially with the new year coming up. If there's something you'd like to go into greater detail with, then we can get in a one-card pull. Okay. Let's see, Sanel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, S-O-N-A-L. Hello, Sanel, thank you for joining. And for those of you, again, that might be new to this and say, wow, what's all these general readings about? What people will do if they don't have a specific question is say, gee, I would just like a general reading. And what that means is that they're not looking for anything specific. They just want to know what information they can definitely utilize right now. So that's what we do when we go to a general reading. So just keep that in mind. And let's see what card comes up for you. And again, there's no rhyme or reason to how I do this. It's not like I count or anything. I just shuffle and then it tells me when to stop. Page of Swords, gossip. Okay. Now, what we're going to do with this card, first of all, I'm getting this strong purple color, and this is telling me that your third eye is wide open. What I mean by that is you're getting a lot of intuitive information, Sanel. So definitely information that you can trust is coming in. I feel like you're claircognizant, which means you have a knowing about things. I think, again, this whole idea of this word gossip, what this means in relation to you is that there are people, and when I get something like this and I get a visual, what I see is a lot of chatter. I see almost like blackbirds or something like that around your head. And what that is telling me is there's talking going on around your head. I don't think it has anything to do with gossip per se, but what I do feel it has to do with is to be impeccable with your word. What I mean by that is to realize that words are energy, and whenever we're talking about something, it has an energetic impact. And one of the ways I read one of my favorite books, the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and that's one of the agreements. Be impeccable with your word. And what I realized personally is what I would do is I would get like a little bit aggravated with somebody, and that, say they asked me to do something and I didn't want to say no, and so I would say yes, even though it wasn't something I really wanted to do. Then what would happen is I would get off the phone after agreeing and I'd call somebody and start talking about this person that asked me to do something. And not necessarily in a really hugely negative way, but I would just kind of say things that I should have just said to the person as to why I didn't want to do things. And I thought I was being nice by doing that, but what I realized is that in some way the words that I was saying was still impacting this person, and that doing it that way was not the correct thing to do. And it was a big lesson for me to learn how to say no when things came up that I didn't want to do. Or if somebody hurt my feelings, rather than getting off the phone and acting like my feelings weren't hurt, I have now learned to say, gee, I don't know if you realize this, but that hurt my feelings. And it's created so much clarity. So I feel that that's what this means. I'm going to use this in a metaphoric way versus a literal way. So again, and we've got this brilliant yellow coming in through once more about being in your power. So I feel with you, it's about you giving yourself permission to say no when you want to say no. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Okay, Karen, let's see. You would love to receive a message. Let's see. Okay, so as we start talking again about this energy, one of the good things you can do if you are a crystal person, this is a wonderful time for you in this full moon energy to get all of your crystals out, because you can clear them and charge them in the full moon energy. And all you have to do is take them and put them outside and allow the stones to just soak in that energy. Also, regardless of what the weather might be, and remember, full moon we're talking about tomorrow, regardless of what the weather might be where you are, it really is beneficial to get into that full moon energy. So even if it's cloudy or you can't physically see the moon, just know that being out there is going to get you that energy and get you exactly what it is that you need from this full moon. And even though you can't physically see it. Okay, the High Priest wisdom. Okay, and again, first thing I notice here, first of all, we've got the dolphins in the background. So, Kieran, these dolphins are reminding you to play. And this gentleman with his hand out to me is telling you to really be open to receiving, especially this month. It's so important. And the wisdom word, I'm going to interpret again metaphorically. You know the things that you should be receiving. And I feel there's times that you're a wonderful giver, but when it comes to receiving, you tend to be a little bit held back. And that's not unusual. A lot of people are like that. But what I always say to people is, listen, if you enjoy giving, that's great. But if the person that you're giving to doesn't want to receive, then where does that leave you? So it's almost not fair if you don't allow yourself to receive, because you have to give other people the joy that you get by receiving and by giving. So by opening yourself up to receive, you're allowing somebody else to have the pleasure of giving to you. I also feel, Kieran, this is a strong hit for you to keep in mind the importance of giving to yourself. If you're in a situation where you feel that there's so many people around you and that you're doing for everybody and it's not coming back to you. And again, believe me, I'm not saying that every time we do something, we're expecting something in return. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is when you get to that point where the relationships are out of balance, where you're doing all the work in the relationship, sooner or later you're going to get burned out. There's only so much giving you can do. Again, it's like trying to drive a car on empty. Sooner or later the car is going to stall and not start. So keep that in mind. Third eye again, wide open. You've got a great deal of yellow in your auric field, which is telling me that you're at a time now where being in your power is really important. And again, this keeps coming up. Say no when you just don't have the time. Only say yes to the things coming from a place of love. And that's a great lesson. And in my book, Songs of My Life, Slightly Out of Tune, I talk about the relationship I had with my mother after my dad passed and how I just did everything I possibly could do to make her happy, until I finally realized that what she really wanted was my dad back, and there was nothing I could do about that. And I got so burned out with doing it. And I talk about it in my book about how, you know, again, my book has a lot of funny things in it, but that was something that was really hard for me to learn, that my mother was on her own path. And of course, I was always saying yes to her. I never wanted to say no to her. And what happened is that it finally got to a point that, you know, I didn't want to do anything, because I was, you know, constantly doing things I didn't want to do for the sake of really making her happy, and it wasn't making her happy anyway. So I just kind of learned how to discern. So just keep that in mind, and definitely know that that's very important. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Bridget. Okay, let's see. I would love to give you a reading. And Bridget Parvin, I'm very blessed to count as a friend. Her and her husband, Doug, an incredible sound healer. Bridget, an incredible reader. She's got a wonderful store in California. And I want to It's in Northern California. So Bridget, if you want to post where it is in here. But 2018, I think, sees you going through some transitions in a positive way. I think there's a lot of good new things coming your way. So Bridget, let's see what comes up. And her Facebook Lives are always great. And I know she does these mini readings, her and Doug. So it's so nice. Her and her husband do them both. And so you get twice as much. So here we go. So 10 of Pentacles, luck. See, you can't make this stuff up. I always like to talk before I pick the card because it just really, it always makes me feel good. And this is exactly what I'm seeing around you. And I love this Merkaba image that we have, as we have this 10, a very positive number, boils down to 1 in numerology. So I feel, Bridget, that this is the start of really great things for you. And when we look at luck, we know that we make our own luck, but there's also those situations, those synchronicities that come in that really are based on just blessings. And it can be things that maybe we thought about years ago that come into fruition with the divine timing. So I do believe in luck. I might give it a little bit of a different name, synchronicities, blessings, but there are things that come our way that are just huge blessings that are magic, that we can definitely attribute to luck and being positive. So I'm seeing 2018, Bridget, as being a very lucky year for you. A lot of new things coming your way. And I just see tons of flowers around you. It's interesting because I'm seeing all kinds of daisies around you. We should really check out and see what Robert says about daisies, because very much everything's coming up daisies is what I'm getting. So very good time for you. And thank you so much, Bridget, for tuning in. And we have this beautiful sea turtle that's coming in, and I'm thinking this might have been one of the sea turtles when we were working together in Hawaii that we were privileged to see. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I am going to close. For those of you that I didn't get to, I apologize. I do the best I can. Know that I do these mini readings on my radio show. So again, if you tuned in with the tips that I had for this full moon / Mercury retrograde energy, know that I'm going to immediately post this up so that you can watch it, you can share it. Know that, again, on my radio show, I do these mini readings almost every week. So that's the night shift with SusanDintino. It's on www.w4cy.com. So it's an internet radio station. So I'm up there as much as I can be live. So I do these readings then, and as I said, I'm going to get back doing these on a regular basis. So I'm going to just check and see. I know December 18th. So I will be back December 16th at 12 noon Eastern to talk about the new moon and the winter solstice. So again, I'm going to try and do these on Saturday, 12 noon Eastern time, right before these celestial events. And I'll probably be popping in at other times. Recap: time for introspection, time for meditation, time for releasing, time for deciding what it is you want to bring into 2018. The crystal I recommended, tangerine quartz, the flower poinsettia, the angel archangel Gabriel. We're going to work on our sacral chakra. Get those creative projects ready to roll. Just keeping in mind, we're going to really put all cylinders in after the winter solstice and get things all ready for 2018. I want to thank you so much. I know your time is valuable, and I really appreciate you tuning in, and I love all the little hearts and people I see coming by me. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. And again, I will see you either on Tuesday evening on my radio show or Facebook Live or anytime. And don't forget to check out my nurturing necessities. I'm going to do them as much as I possibly can throughout this holiday season. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a super Saturday, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye now.